Strange last meals requested by inmates Part 1. There are many people that have found themselves on death row after committing horrible criminal acts. They sit in cells waiting for their final day, and when this happens, the jail offers them one last wish. They are treated to the last meal of their choosing, and some of these meals are pretty strange. So we thought we would share with you some stories of these meals that correctional officers have decided to share with us. Be prepared, some of these are pretty strange. Victor Feger. After sitting on death row for years, the time for Victor's execution has come. He was 28 years old and had attempted many times to get the conviction overturned but was unsuccessful. Not wanting to seem like a glutton, he had a very special request when it came to his last meal. The plate arrived to his cell with a single olive on it. The olive wasn't even pitted, and so he enjoyed his final meal slowly and with purpose. Timothy McVeigh. The death penalty had been put on hold for decades after the horrible attack on the government building in Oklahoma City took place. The terrorist that did it was eventually placed on death row. Timothy McVeigh was 33 when he met his end. Before he was executed, though, he had the chance to ask for anything he wanted for his last meal. To quell his last moment's sweet tooth, he enjoyed 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. Angel Nieves Diaz. There are many reasons why people end up on death row. The legal proceedings could potentially last quite a while before they actually walk down that long corridor for the last time. For Angel Diaz, he ended up living in prison until he was 55 years old. To make sure he left an impression, he refused to have his last meal. But the guards still brought him a regular prison meal. Stephen Michael Woods Jr. Stephen Woods worked tirelessly while he was on death row for the rights of his fellow inmates. Though he tried to overturn the conviction several times, he was denied. In 2011, he met his maker just 11 days after his appeal was rejected. To go out with a bang, he asked the guards for a laundry list of food items for his final meal. Among these were 2 pounds of bacon, 2 pints of ice cream, 2 hamburgers, and fries. John Wayne Gacy. After being convicted for several heinous crimes, the famous serial killer spent years on death row. While on death row, he spent his time corresponding with fans outside and working on his paintings. Eventually, though, his time was up, and it was time for him to relay his last meal wishes. He asked for a bucket of KFC, some fried shrimp, French fries, and a pound of strawberries. Ricky Ray Rector. Ricky Rector sat on death row for several years before finally meeting his end at the age of 42. Though he committed terrible crimes, he, like every other death row inmate, was allowed to order whatever he wanted for his last meal. Ricky chose to go with a meal that reminded him of home. He had steak, fried chicken, Kool-Aid, and pecan pie. Ronnie Thregill. Texas is notorious for having many people sitting on death row awaiting their execution. One of these was Ronnie Thregill, who ended up getting executed at the age of 40. This convicted criminal went for a home meal as their last. He was served baked chicken, mashed potatoes with gravy, vegetables, sweet peas, tea, water, and punch. Ronnie Lee Gardner. For more than 20 years, the criminal Ronnie Lee Gardner sat on death row in Utah. In 2010, he also got to choose the way he would be executed. But, along with choosing the method of execution, he also was able to pick his final meal. The criminal chose to have the guards deliver him not only a meal but a movie to watch while he enjoyed it. He chose the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Along with this, he enjoyed a steak, a lobster, apple pie, and ice cream. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy needs no introduction, as many books and movies are dedicated to him. For his crimes, he ended up on death row and continued fighting the conviction to the very end. But, eventually, he did meet his end. Not wanting to be treated any differently, he didn't have any special requests as for his last meal. This meant he got a classic one. Stay safe and connected. Have a great day ahead.